Selin, Lenny, good to see you both. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Selin, it's good to see you. We spoke for season 1.
I remember. Yeah, yeah.
It's always going to be, Lenny, it's a crazy feeling, right? You work on something, you wait, and then people get to see it. People in the UK saw it. Now people in the US on Hulu see it. It's a crazy feeling, right? Can you describe the feeling?
Yeah, it's pretty mental. I mean, it's quite nice to have, because I think it released in the US a little bit later, so it's nice to have everyone sort of all the nice comments flooding from over here, and then you sort of feel like, you know, it might have stopped for a while, and then suddenly you get everyone else from across the US saying everything, and it's no, yeah, it's really lovely.
Absolutely. Selin, I'm wondering if you and Daisy would have different answers to this question, considering you both wrote this, but you're also in it as well. You know I love the genre-bending component of this. You know I love the laughs and the thriller kind of crime component of it. What is that like for you? Like, after it's kind of done and the scripts are written by you and Daisy, what is that script-to-screen journey like for you, kind of seeing it come to life on screen, so to speak?
It's so interesting because I think in series 1, I had, like, this was my first writing journey. So it was kind of like getting my head around it. I wrote it, we were writing it for so long, and then it was like, oh God, I've got to act this now. And it was kind of getting my head around that. But we're so lucky, we have the most incredible cast, as you know, the man, the legend, Lenny himself. But what was so fun about series 2 was we just knew all these actors and we knew what they were capable of. And so we knew, like, we could just have so much fun with that. And I think with the genre bending and all that kind of stuff, like, again, we just felt we could push it even more because we know what these guys are capable of.
Yeah.
So I think almost second time round, I was less nervous about that because I knew we were all coming back, and there's so much trust and there's so much fun that we have. And yeah, it's crazy, but I think it's such a fun show to shoot, I think.
It's a fun show to watch. I love
it. Good. Good.
It's so
That's
exciting.
Lovely.
Well, Lenny, here's the deal, because, you know, there was a lot of chatter, because I asked about scripts, right? But there's a lot of chatter that there's a lot of lines that, you know, you belt out that are improvised. You know, you just kind of like go off the cuff and everything. Was that also the case a lot in season 2? Was there a little bit of like a back and forth with the script? What was that like, the improvisation aspect of it for you?
Well, there was improv in both, and yeah, I love it. I think obviously, you know, Daisy, obviously, she's done This Country, which is just one of my favourites. It's so funny, and I'm not sure, but I believe there's a lot of improv in that. So it's good to have Daisy there, because she's the queen of improv, really. She's amazing. So yeah, I loved it, and I think personally, I think it adds to the realism of it, and it just, and I think it makes it funnier, to be honest.
Yes, absolutely. Selin, you'll agree with me too. Lenny also says a lot without saying anything. His facial expression sometimes. That's like my favorite part.
I can't tell you what a gift he is, because you're exactly right. Like, you know, we can think of all the things we want Lenny to say, but Lenny turns up and he surprises us still. You know, it's incredible because he's got such an instinct for it. And I think, like, we do rehearsals, don't we, Lenny, like a week up to filming, and a lot of that actually is not to do with the script so much as just kind of getting back in touch with each other. And Lenny and Daisy and Dustin, the three of them, they're like the three musketeers. They have this incredible rapport with each other. So you can kind of, you know, if I'm not in a scene, quite often I'm on set and I'm watching, and it's like we have a really hard time being quiet when we're watching, because we just want to burst out laughing because it's so funny, and especially the three of them together. Incredible.
It's the best. And Lenny, I do want to ask, because I find it interesting, because, you know, Daisy and Selin wrote this incredible show and they're acting in it as well. Are your conversations with them different from a writing creative perspective versus an acting perspective, or they're very similar? Are they very similar conversations?
Yeah, I see. I like kind of it kind of I think personally, I reckon with a lot of writers, I think, you know, like you said, you sort of, like, you know, with the improv, you kind of you might feel bad to kind of go off scripts because they've written this amazing piece, and for you to go off, I don't know if it seems, but it's so easy with Daisy and Selin. They just make you feel at home, and it's just it's I think, and when you've got Daisy and Selin doing it themselves, you sort of think, well, maybe I'll do a little bit, and it's so it's quite, and it's cool to have both sides, both the creative, like the writing sides and the acting. It's cool to have both.
Absolutely. A couple more quick questions before we wrap up. Selin, it's interesting. My favorite thing is the on-screen kind of chemistry and back and forth with Daisy and Lenny is like one of the best things ever, right? So like you're in the same boat as me sometimes as a viewer, right? Just seeing it. What is that like for you? Like seeing that specifically?
I often say this to people, like I feel almost like I'm a competition winner. The reference that I always use is that I feel like those girls that are in the speedboat on the River Thames with the Spice Girls in the Spice World movie, because I'm just like, it's just a joy. It's just a joy. And particularly Lenny, I think, sometimes filming days are long, and sometimes we're writing it as well, and things get kind of, you got to figure things out and problems come up. And Lenny comes on set and he just has such a joyful presence. It's just like, it kind of makes you go, oh yeah, this is why we do this. Because it's great and it's fun, and it's just like watching those two, have a real, like there's a real love they have for each other, I think, as performers and actors, and it's just so nice to be able to sit and having a front row seat. I honestly feel very, very lucky.
Lenny is the best. It's the best. Again, I do feel like, I think like your reactions to things that are said is my favorite. You know what I mean? That is my favorite. You don't even say any lines. You're just like, what? Like what? Like your eyes tell it all, Lenny.
I think a lot of it is real. Like I remember the bit that I always remember, and it was in series 2, and it was with Carla, who plays Lucy, and we're in the caravan, and she comes right up close to my face, and she says to me, "I'm bending over a drain doing a wee," and there was just something so about how close she was, and it's just impossible not to laugh. But I think it works to have a little bit of a smile on Ollie's face. So yeah, but it was it's I love it.
Absolutely.
I think it works because sometimes, ironically, in a lot of our scenes, you feel that Ollie is the only adult in the room. And it's almost like Ollie is all of us just watching, going, these people are crazy. Yeah, exactly.
And it's just kind of like, what am I doing here right now? Who are these people?
Exactly. Who's running this show? What's going on?
And it's a lot of fun. And last thing I'm going to throw out here for both of you. I mean, the episodes can be, watched on Hulu in the US for season 2, which is exciting. And they can kind of go back and watch season 1 if they haven't already, and then watch season 2.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many ways of watching things these days. You can wait week to week, or you can like watch them all in one sitting. Do you both have a preference? Because I feel like there's a world for both of them. I like the binge and I love the week to week.
I'm a binger. I don't know about you, Lenny, but I'm greedy. I want it all, and I want it now. And I think that's what's so good about, our show is, like you say, you can stream it all, and they're like 30-minute-ish episodes. So, if you're really committed, you can just hoover up the whole thing in one go, which is, how I recommend viewers to watch. But what about you?
I agree. I'm a binger. I think, especially when it comes to this show, there's usually at the end of each episode, you just can't stop. Like, you can't wait for another week to find out how it's gonna. It's ridiculous. You've got to watch it all.
Absolutely. Well, actually, I'm going to ask Lenny this quickly, and not Selin, because you wrote this, so maybe it's a bit different, because of course you have to think about. Lenny, do you ever think of the audience member watching Am I Being Unreasonable while you're making it, so to speak, like reactions or anything? Or is that something that happens a little bit after you wrap?
Yeah, I did. Well, the first time, I didn't realize how much of an impact it would have. And it. I mean, I thank Daisy and Selin so much, because I mean it's just boosted my career so much. I'm so thankful. So, and I think coming back to the second one, I think I did think about it a lot more, and I kind of, I realized how many people love it and how many people watch it. And yeah, I think I did think about it more. Yeah.
So then you have to think about it because you wrote it.
I mean, it's what keeps me up at night, honestly. No, it was amazing because I think Lenny's right. I think even to an extent during the first series, I wasn't quite kind of prepared for the reaction we would get. And it was kind of our own little thing. And, you know, there was no kind of expectation. So certainly series 2, it was like, yeah, we can't let anyone down. But, you know, we're so grateful to everyone that has watched it and enjoyed it. And what's so wonderful is people have really like let us know their thoughts and their theories and their reactions. And that's so like, that's part of the fun. But especially Daisy and I, like, we're back on Mumsnet, which is like the kind of forum that has inspired a lot of the show. And we're going, okay, so what does everyone think? What's everyone's theories? And it feels like a real shared experience, which is so fun because, yeah, you're writing it for a while and it's your own little thing. And yeah, we feel very lucky. And yeah, very lucky also to have Lenny. That was very sweet of you to say. But I mean, you know, what a revelation for us. And it was so enjoyable to write series 2, knowing Lenny was going to be saying these words. It was so fun.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Season 2 of Am I Being Unreasonable is streaming on Hulu, so they can check that out. So then, Lenny, so great chatting with you both. Thank you so much for your time.
You too. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.